Hi, it's Lynn Shuck with Healing and Balance, and we're looking at the hips again. And this is going to be a simple movement called pelvic listing. There are lots of fancier, more elaborate lists to do, but this is one that, at least the first variations of it, you could do anywhere, anytime. It's a nice way to break up having to stand on your feet for long hours and start to wake up some muscles and make your feet and your legs and your body feel a little better. But it also keeps the joints lubricated because there's movement in the joint. That's what keeps the synovial fluid thick and viscous so that it supports and protects your joints. And it works on the muscles that support the hip joints. So the most basic listing, if you think of listing like a boat lists on the water, one end goes up when the waves come, the other end goes up, that's listing. If I keep my legs straight and just shift my weight from one side to the other, my pelvis, you can see by my fingers, is very gently going up on one side and down on the other. I'm keeping my torso fairly level above that. So my shoulders are not doing this. Shoulders are staying level. I'm trying to make this happen at the pelvis. The other thing I'm not doing is I'm not turning my body. So if you aren't sure and you don't have a mirror, you can put your butt against a sink or a counter or a wall and make sure you're sliding across that evenly. When we have the feet roughly pelvis distance apart, the push and pull is on the outer hip and thigh, even if you're not feeling it. Now you might have a lot of movement here, but you might not, because this isn't a movement that we do as much since we paved our world. If we walked on the sides of things and up and over uneven surfaces, the pelvis would list more. But this simple one with the feet this width apart works the outer hip and thigh. If I take my feet wide, you can feel it shift to the inner thigh muscles. There's a lot less of my whole body shifting because, again, I'm keeping my legs straight, and now you can see the listing of my pelvis much more distinctly. I could also change it by stepping 1 foot forward. Now, if I turn sideways, it's not a huge step forward, just comfortable. And from the front, I'm not on a balance beam, still pelvis width. So now it's sort of a diagonal move. As I shift my weight from 1 foot to the other, my pelvis moves, shoulders are still level. I take the other side. Those are some leg variations. I could also play with toes turned in a little bit or turned out. So how you vary the legs will push and pull on these muscles much differently. But you can also up the ante. Now this one's not so much for waiting in line unless you have no issues being weird in public. I'm gonna come over to this ledge here, this shelf. You can put your hands on the seat of a chair or on a counter. I have my feet pelvis width and I take that same movement. And now I can take my weight a little farther because my hands are resting on something. And now I might feel it a little more deeply in these outer hip and thigh muscles. Similarly, if I step wide and bend over, I feel it more, a bigger effort on those leg muscles. And if I really want to make things weird, I could take that step forward, tip over, and just watch how muscles have to work very differently. So it doesn't matter how many variations you do or don't do. This little bitty rocking motion that just doesn't look like much, it's pretty important. So see if you can add it into your day. Go.